Okay, I'm going to give a quick demonstration of how we use Hermes. Now Hermes has been designed to be a flexible UI for managing data and metadata. So when we start up Hermes, we're first presented with this initial screen. See here we've got two file explorers here side by side. These explorers allow us to mount SRB and grid FTP file systems and then do file operations and metadata operations on the data. So you'll see in this browser area here we have just your regular browser. We have our file contents here, and we have an up button which takes us to the parent directory or the next directory level up, a refresh button which refreshes the contents, the home button which takes us into our home area, which is this one that's viewed, which is the mount point for all our different file systems, and a new file system button here. This new file system button brings up a wizard which allows us to mount different file systems, and we also have like the address bar here which shows us the URI of the object we're viewing at the current point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new file system here, or mount a new file system. So I'm going to mount an SRB file system. So we provide a protocol, SRB, host, and a default port. I'm going to go with GSI auth here. Now when I select GSI auth, I need to provide a resource for the SRB server I'm connecting to. If I was to use password authentication, I need to provide all these details asked for as well as a password. With my proxy auth, I need to provide these details as well as a resource. So I'm just going to go GSI auth. And before we use GSI auth, we need to make sure that our GSI proxy is enabled. So click next and finish here. And now our SRB server has been mounted. I'm going to go ahead now and mount another file system. I'm going to do grid FTP. So same deal, select the protocol, give it a host and a default port. Once again I have my GSI proxy enabled. I'll click finish and now my GSI or grid FTP store has been mounted here. So I'll just double click on my GSI mount here, and it shows the details of my home area on that store. And I'll go into the SRB server here, and it will show the contents of my SRB home directory. Now in Hermes, all these things we have here are called docs. So I can drag and move these file explorers around wherever I like. And I can also double click on them to bring them into full view, double click, take them out of full view. Everything in Hermes is a doc. So you see down here we have a transfer view which shows us the progress of our transfers. It's also a doc. As well as if we go up to the file and new menu, here are some other docs we have. So we can add as many file explorers to the window as we want. We can move them wherever we want. So I can enter my local file system. I've got my SRB file system here and a grid FTP file system, and I can drag and drop between which one of these anywhere I like. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of, first of all, creating a new folder. So I just right clicked in the white space there, went create new folder, I give it a name and hit OK. And now my new folder has come up here. So I'll just enter this folder and I'll show you how to do a drag and drop. So I've entered this folder. I'll now go over to my grid FTP area here and I'll select a couple of files to transfer. So I'll select these three. So I've highlighted the files. Now I click and drag over to my left pane here and I drop. If I go down to my transfer viewer and view the transfers, this will show me the status of the transfers. So I'm 95% complete and 100% complete. Okay, and now that those files that I transferred have showed up. So I'll just hide that viewer. Now I'm going to show you how we can add metadata to objects now that we've transferred them to SRB. So I go up to new and I put add an MCAT editor to my page. I'll just drag it down to the bottom of the screen here. And once that editor is on screen, we can now go over to our SRB area here and select an object. Now when I select one of those objects, that will refresh this metadata editor showing me the metadata that's associated with that object. And we can see there's no metadata, so let's add some. So I'm going to add owner equals Matt. And now if I select this object, it will show me the metadata, which there is none. If I select this one, it will show me the metadata I previously entered. So now we've added some metadata, I'm going to show you how to do a search. So if we go up to File, New, do an MCAT metadata search. I'll just drag this down the bottom here so I can see it. So drag it down, I'll drag it to there. Okay, now I'm going to search for all files that contain the name Globus. So simple keyword search, and it gives me a list of my objects. So what I can do, now I've got this list, I can highlight a result, right click, reveal in browser. And that'll give me the parent directory of where my object lies. And this is the object we were searching for. So I can close that down. And now I'm going to show you how to do an advanced search. So before I added some metadata to this object here, which was owner equals Matt, so we're going to do a search on that. So I go to my search box and I'm going to click the A there for advanced search, and I'm going to add in owner equals Matt, and then search, and it'll give me the search results for my query. So once again, I can select my search result, right click, reveal in browser, and it will show me the parent directory of where my objects are. As well as all this, we have simple operations such as renaming files. So I'm going to rename this RPM to renamed, and it's been renamed there. We can also delete files, so I'm going to select this file, right click and delete it. You should want to delete, yes. So there I've just deleted one single file. We also have the ability to delete directories as well, and that'll do a recursive delete. As well as all this, we have the ability to go to our home directory, and if we want to disconnect from a file system, we just right click, disconnect. If you have any issues, please go to our track site www.hpc.jcu.edu/projects/SRB.